Yo, 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 people and patrons of the night, welcome back to the Horror Tavern. It is your boy, BD, and make sure to grab a seat, take a drink, and get ready as we dive into reviewing a cult classic horror movie. This is a very famous one that I've never seen before. It was made a year after I was born, and I decided, you know what, I got some time. I did watch this movie quite recently, and I want to talk about it. Because, spoiler alert, this is a fun one. This is a fun movie. It's got a lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of great action, a lot of great creature feature stuff, some good slasher stuff, some good character stuff in there, as corny as not as corny, but as cliche as it can be at times. It's good old fun. So let's talk about it today as we explore the limitless cavern that is the horror genre. What movie am I talking about today? We are talking about none other than Jeepers Creepers 2001. That's right. The very first Jeepers Creepers movie. This one is technically a classic by now. I mean, this is hard to believe, but this was made a year after I was born. I don't really consider stuff in the 2000s a classic, but we're in 2024, which means that it's been 23 years or so since this movie's been made. So yeah, this is a classic horror movie. One that a lot of people love, one that a lot of people enjoy, and yeah, I enjoyed this one. This is a fun movie. So let's get into a little bit of the plot synopsis without giving all of it away, and then I'll talk a little bit more detail about my review and how I feel about the movie. So this movie, Jeepers Creepers 2001, is basically about a brother and sister duo. The brother is named Derry and the sister is named Trish. The brother Derry is played by Justin Long. That's right, Justin Long, been in a lot of stuff. He's famous for Jeepers Creepers. He's recently in the Goosebumps 2023 show, and it's been what? In the Goosebumps 2023 show, it's been like 20 plus years since then. It's been like close to 23 years since he was in Jeepers Creepers 1, and he looks the exact same. This man is a motherfucking vampire. That motherfucker is Nosferatu. If you pull down the shade on him, that sunlight is going to cause him to burn to ashes. The motherfucker does not age. Whatever him and Pharrell are taking, that we got to get on that skincare routine. But this man, Justin Long, is playing Derry, and he's with his sister Trish. They have a little bit of an interesting dynamic. They do a lot of like raunchy, sleazy jokes with each other, but you can tell that they love each other. They got a good relationship. And they're driving down off the Florida roads, like Florida, kind of like, not highways, but out in the rural country of Florida. And they're coming back, I think, from either spring or summer break. And of course, it takes place in Florida. That's no shock. Only this type of crazy creature feature slasher shit could occur in Florida. The #1 place with all the motherfucking crazies and crazy ass things out there to kill you. They're driving down the road. And as they're driving down the road, they actually end up getting into a close encounter where they're almost run down off of the road by this Mad Max looking truck. I mean, this truck looks gnarly. It's like a Mad Max type of build. They can't see the driver really well, but they think he's a psycho. Almost drives them down the road. And they do technically end up going down a ditch because this guy is not moving, this guy is not swerving, so that way Derry has to then go down into a ravine and kind of save himself from being hit by this car, this truck. And what ends up happening is they try to regroup themselves. They don't understand what the hell just happened. They don't get what was up with that driver. Why was he not listening to their honking? Why was he so crazy? And as they're driving their way back onto the route that they planned, they then see that same truck parked up by this dilapidated, decayed church. And there's like all these crows around there. And there's this like sewer pipe chute, like a drain pipe thing, where this guy, this man who's been in this truck basically seems to get out and is carrying something in a white tarp, like a white sheet. And it's kind of the size of a human body, maybe might not be some blood stains on there, and he throws it down the chute. And as soon as they're driving past, this guy turns around and faces them, and they think this guy looks gnarly. He looks freaky, and they're convinced that he's throwing dead bodies down there. And to their better judgment, Trish very much wants to get out of there. She thinks that it's not their problem, they can call the police, but Derry's not satisfied. He wants to essentially go and check it out. As the #1 horror trope is, you gotta go check out the bullshit. You can't just drive away from there, especially after the shit you just went through on the fucking road where you nearly got hit by Mad Max. That shit's not enough for you. He decides, you know what, I'm not gonna feel comfortable if I just drive away. I want to see if we can potentially check out what's in there. We need confirmation that he's actually doing something bad. Those are actually dead bodies. Otherwise, it's going to be a false report to the police. And he just thinks that it'd be better to see if anybody needs help. So they drive back to this dilapidated church and they go up to the sewer pipe and they try to look down there. They can't really see anything. And as they start getting freaked out, Trish is basically doing Overwatch. He's trying to look inside of the sewer pipe. Derry swears that he can hear somebody crying, kind of calling out for help, and he's convinced that someone's trapped down there. And he decides, you know what, I'm going to head down the pipe. He tries to get Trish to help him out, and as he's sort of lowering himself into the pipe to better hear if somebody's actually in there or see if he can actually see someone by the outskirts of the shadows, he ends up getting jump scared by a rat. I can't blame the man. Rats are fucking scary. They're fucking disgusting. The man gets jump scared. He jumps out of his skin, and he basically tumbles down this nasty drain pipe into this kind of cavern. And he tries to call Trish for help. She tries to find a way to get him out. She starts investigating the church, but she gets freaked out at how creepy it looks, how eerie it looks. She's afraid that the guy in the truck is going to come back. And all these crows seem to just be watching him and keeping an eye on him. Very eerie sight. And as Derry is down there in this sort of cavern-like place of the sewer pipe, he starts walking around and he sees a workshop with a bunch of tools and stuff. And then he finds the tarp. And the tarp that got thrown down there with the object inside of it is in fact a body. It is somebody who's dead or on the verge of dying. And as Derry starts exploring the inside of this cavern, he bites off more than he can chew, because he ends up seeing a bunch of bodies down there. And in fact, they are a bunch of human corpses all sewn together in a giant mosaic art piece all against the walls of the cavern. There's severed heads taken off. They're attached to different bodies and torsos. It looks like one giant fucked up art piece, and he nearly vomits. He freaks out and he realizes the guy we may be dealing with is more than any of us could handle, and I need to get the hell out of here. He gets out of there and he realizes that this is a horrible thing going down here. There's a lot of torture, fucked up like art that this guy is doing with human bodies, killing people. This is not just a serial killer. It is a omega level threat serial killer. And once Derry gets back up and him and Trish start driving away, they try to get nearby to town to call for help. Derry is very much traumatized. He's got like PTSD. He's really freaked out. Trish is trying to hold them together, but she can't. And once they get to a local diner, they try calling for the police, and then they see that Mad Max truck fly down the road back to the church, and they realize, oh shit, this guy's gonna see that someone was down there, and he's gonna come back after us. And then yeah, they start getting hunted down. They start getting turned into prey, because this creeper, this Jeepers creeper, this guy is gonna be finding them soon and making sure that they don't leak a word. So that's where basically the story takes off. And again, you're not dealing with the normal slasher here. The Creeper is an actual demon / monstrosity. Nobody really knows the origins of him, but essentially, well, it takes the form of him, but it's it. Essentially, the way the Creeper works, it's kind of like a demon or monster, and whatever it eats becomes a part of its body and a part of its abilities. So when it eats humans, it starts adapting their eyes, it starts adapting their faces. The Creeper kind of looks like an old man. He's got slick back white hair, but he's got this like iguana-like reptilian skin, these jagged fangs. He's got a strong build, big, and has wings as well that you see later. Again, a monster, a demon, kind of like this gargoyle, goblin kind of thing, ghoul kind of thing. And he's basically chasing him down. So not only are they dealing with a killer, but they're dealing with a supernatural killer. And for some reason, there's this mystical woman that calls Derry on the landline and basically informs them that she knows about this creature. She knows that it comes out every like 23 or 27 years or something, and starts terrorizing Florida towns. And she says, you know what, as soon as you hear this music, Jeepers Creepers, which is where it gets its name from, it's going to start hunting you down. And it's got your smell. It's found your smell. It's going to hunt you down no matter what and kill you and make sure that not only can it feast upon you, but you're not going to be leaking out any of its business. Not that many people would believe this crazy story, but they get close to there. And some people end up getting killed, of course, because you don't mess with the fucking Creeper. Creeper's got a lot of dope kills. You'll see a lot of that stuff, a lot of violence, a lot of slasher stuff. Again, some creature feature aspects. Really, really cool stuff. So that's basically the plot without me trying to give too much away. They try to find a way to take care of the Creeper and solve this whole situation. So what are some of the positives that I have about this movie? First of all, this movie is really fun. The Creeper is a great villain. He's a very fun villain. He's got style. He's got charisma. Again, he kind of looks like this gargoyle reptilian man, but he has his own theme song, Jeepers Creepers. The first kill scene involves some police officers, and that ends up playing on the radio. And this man jumps on top of the police car and starts decapitating people and ripping people through doors and stuff. It is brutal. Trish and Derry tried taking care of him at multiple points, like running him over 50 times, which I thought was very funny but effective from Trish. And he'll just like jump in the air 20 feet. He'll start doing backflips and front flips. He just got style, man. He's just a badass villain. And he's got super speed. You can see the way that he scurries, kind of like this lightning fast bug, scurries up walls and then manages to kill people brutally. A lot of victims with the Creeper here. And there's even a police station scene where this man is basically facing off against like 30 armed police officers, and it is so badass. It lets you know this guy is him. He is Himothy. He is Idithy. You don't mess with this motherfucker. He is a goddamn anime villain. He's got that Black Air Force energy. If he fucks up a whole police station of 30 armed officers, you know not to mess with this motherfucker. You cannot stop him. Another positive about this movie is, again, Derry and Trish. Even though they got a lot of sleazy dialogue, it's fun, it's charming if you take it for what it is. And again, you genuinely do feel like they care for each other, and that's especially prevalent towards the end of the movie when some decisions are made that kind of goes against prophecy and visions and stuff. The prophecy vision aspect involving that one woman was quite interesting to see it factored in. Again, it sort of gives like a ritual, higher level being feel to the whole Creeper and what's going on here. It's not really explained, but I assume in the sequels, Jeepers Creepers 2, it's probably built upon. I know about Jeepers Creepers 3. I've seen it a while ago. And I've seen Jeepers Creepers 4. I know the quality dips dramatically, people. You don't got to inform me about that. But the first movie is pretty damn good. In fact, it's very good. And the ending scene to this movie is dark and disturbing. I was not expecting the ending of this movie to be so dark and disturbing, and it was. It will fuck with you a little bit if you were not expecting that. I was not expecting it to go there. Yeah, fucked up. It's stylistic, but it's fucked up. So yeah, there's going to be a character that has some fucked up shit happen to him, but again, gives energy to the Creeper, gives a threat level to the Creeper, which I very much appreciate. And I think this was based off of some true crime stuff. There might have been some stalker or serial killer in Florida riding around in a truck. I think maybe X-Files or something made an episode about it. Horror FFA, my friend, he talked about it a little bit, but I forgot. So, yeah. This is based on apparently a true crime. So it's like a mix of true crime, a mix of slasher, a mix of creature feature, all in one fun, good film. So overall, I would give this a very good. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, the reason why I don't give it a perfect score, I don't think it has everything that I'm looking for in horror movies. It's a very good movie, but, you know, it's a little bit cheesy at points. Certain points are a little bit cheesy. Again, Trish and Derry, although I like them, they're not the best of characters. The prophecy stuff is not explained. And again, you can understand that probably in the sequel it's going to explain this stuff, but, you know, in the first movie, you don't know if there's going to be a sequel made or not. The ending is kind of a little bit hinting towards that. And none of that prophecy stuff is really mentioned. You don't really get an idea as to what the connection is with this lady and the Creeper. It's just sort of this mysterious thing that exists. So that's why I gave it an 8.5 out of 10, but it's a very good movie, and an 8.5 is a very good score, which means I definitely recommend you all watch it. I assume you've all seen this movie, but if you've not, please go check it out. I think you're gonna have a fun time. They don't make movies like this anymore, all right? The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, they had certain good horror movies, just good movies in general, that were just wild, batshit crazy, fun. Back in the day, like back in these days, the movie directors weren't trying to have the most highbrow, high-collar, you know, commentary. Like, no offense to Jordan Peele. I like some of your stuff. But Jordan Peele always tries to go for that existential, Twilight Zone, higher-level stuff. This is just a to-the-point, good, fun, cheesy, but at the same time, very good movie. Again, it's like a B movie to me, but it's a very good B movie. It's an 8.5. It's good fun. It's got good action. It's got good scares. It's got good tropes done in there, woven in quite well. Overall, it's just a very fun time. I can definitely see people watching this for the first time and absolutely loving it. And if you love this movie, I get it. I get it. If you love this movie, I understand. I don't love it, but I really, really like it. And that is close enough to loving it as far as I'm concerned. So that's a good score. So yeah, they don't make movies like this anymore. They don't make them as fun. They try to be a little bit too much. But luckily, there's some directors out there that are bringing back this sort of fun style of movie. So we're getting back into the horror prime, I feel. People are trying to compensate for the lack of material that's been around for a while. So yeah, if we could get back to this, I would appreciate it. Now, I'm looking forward to watching Jeepers Creepers 2. I'm looking forward to laughing my ass off at Jeepers Creepers 3, and Jeepers Creepers 4 will be a fucking Creepshow 3 level shit show by the time I get to that and rewatch it. But regardless, I had a fun time with this one. I'd recommend it. That's all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button down below if you like this video. We're almost at 300 subscribers. We can make it, people. You hitting that subscribe button and hitting that like button lets the video build up in the algorithm and gets this content out there so that way you guys can view it. And again, let me know what you guys are engaged with, what you guys enjoy. And that's all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out some of my other content. I've reviewed some other horror movies on my channel. I have some horror book reviews, horror TV show reviews, all that stuff on there for all different ages. And yeah, deuces. I did so many college presentations for like the past week, and today was a big one, so I'm quite exhausted, quite tired, but nonetheless, I like talking about this stuff, so I would much prefer talking about this over fucking sustainability. Fucking sustain this dick.